Zayin here. Vayira Hashem el Avrom, Vayom el Zaracho, Etein Sa'oretz Hazos. Hashem appears to Avrom and he says, to your progeny, I will give this land. So what does he tell him? He's telling him two things. He's giving him the land, right? Secondly, he's going to have children. So this is something he wants more than anything, to have children. He's been barren. Sorei Akora, she's barren, his wife. Vayivan Sham Mizbeach LaHashem Anir Elov. So he builds a Mizbeach to acknowledge Hashem who appeared to him. It's a famous Arachim HaKodesh here. You'd think he builds the Mizbeach to give thanks to Hashem that he informed him that he's going to have the land, he's going to have children. But yet, his level of dedication to Hashem was, everything was secondary. Everything paled compared to having a relation with Hashem. Because that Hashem appeared to him that was the ultimate. It says, Vayivim Mizbeach LaHashem, it says, LaHashem Hanira Elov. To Hashem who appeared to him. So he says over here, the Orchaim HaKodesh, Kavonas HaKosu of Lodia Haflogas Chibas Avrom Mekono. Here, the intent of the pasuk is to inform us of the exceptional level of love Avram had for his Maker. Hashem informs him he's going to have children, he's going to have the land. It's not comparable to his joy that Hashem appeared to him. He's explained the reason. This is the basis for his joy. It's because Hashem appeared to him. That was the ultimate to him. Seems to be a little, I don't remember how to, because the Orchaim HaKodesh says later that originally he was supposed to divorce himself from his family. Lot imposed himself on himself, right? Lot came along. It says, Vayelech imo Lot, ito Lot. Lot came, and then it says he took him. But really, the Orchaim speaks over there, really he shouldn't have taken him. But he couldn't just get rid of him. Eventually, he was waiting for the opportunity when they would separate. Therefore, we find later, when they had the disagreement, Achri port lo be'olav, then Hashem appears immediately. But as long as Lot was in, Hashem didn't appear. But over here, Lot is with him. Right? Lot came from Choron together with him. And it says, Vayira Hashem el Avrom. So we see he's appearing to him. They must say something over here about this. Okay, we'll have to see. Let's see Rashi. See, Rashi learns not like the Orchaim HaKodesh. V'ivin sham mizbeach absuras hazera absuras Eretz Yisrael. He built a mizbeach because he was informed that he's going to have children, and he's informed he's going to have Eretz Yisrael, even though it says Anir Elov. So Rashi clearly is not learning like the Orchaim HaKodesh, correct? He's learning Lashem Anir Elov, who informed him about the children and the and the land. Also, the Orchaim HaKodesh to me is a little difficult. Why? What about the Lech Lecha? Correct? When Hashem said to Avram, Lech Lecha mi'aretz me'aretz, Hashem appeared to him. If this would have been the first time, I would understand. But everybody was Moshe Rabbeinu was the only one. Whatever it is, Okay. But you see, Rashi's not making that different. He's not learning. Okay. You have to say something like that to explain the Orchaim HaKodesh. Because if it's the first experience, is one thing. So you could say, if you say Nira, it's a different level of revelation. Okay, that's why. Kihoda Lashem anichvad v'zovach lo zevach tod al shenir elov. Ki arehino lo nir elov Hashem lo zvadi elov b'marev lo b'machzer. Avol nemer lech lecha b'chalom halaylo o b'ruach HaKodesh. Interesting. Ruach HaKodesh is not even Nevuah. Meaning, Ruach HaKodesh, as the Ramchal says, it's not even, not whatsoever. It's a sense of, but it's a sense which is the level of definiteness and reality is more than anything that could be proven. That's what Ruach HaKodesh is. It's like a person, informed, let you come to a person's Ruach Kodesh, and he tells you something. He tells you with such absoluteness, there's no question. It is. More, if I prove something to you, so it's based on the proof. So if I could refute your proof, so the conclusion is not there. Ruach HaKodesh is, it's not based on anything. It's you just know. How do you know? Because you know. Because, of course, you know the source, but it's not, it was communicated to you as a communication. Hashem put it in your mind. So the Lech Lecha, it's interesting, it's a test. If Hashem speaks to you, do or you don't do, I hear. This is something with such definiteness, this and that, that's Lech Lecha.
Is there a difference between Hashem said, Lech Lecha, said,
But
and he really appears?
No, this is Nevuah. This is Nevuah for sure. This is prophecy, right? He's appearing to him. I mean, the Ramchal explains when he speaks out Nevuah, he says, he says, what is a Nevuah? Hashem comes and attaches himself to the person. He's the Rambam, he's based on Psukim, that a Navi, before he prophesizes, he starts convulsing, starts shaking, and then he just falls down like in a trance, unconscious. He's unconscious. Why? Because the body cannot tolerate that level of that experience. So he says, really, a person should die. I was explaining, a person, you hook him up to 1,000,000 volts. The body doesn't have the capacity. The person would be turned into ash. See, so the Ramchal says, why does the Navi live when he experiences the Nevuah? Hashem puts him on life support. If not for Hashem willing, he should live despite the experience, he would die. It's not possible. It's like what Hashem says to Moshe Rabbi. Moshe wanted to see his presence. He says, Lo yironi odom v'chai. Nobody could see me and live. You cannot survive that experience. Right? Same idea. So, but of course, Nevuah was much less than that. Moshe was ponim el ponim, face to face. So therefore, it's actually, so that's what he says. And it's what? And he says that a Navi, after he has a Nevuah, the Ramchal, he says the person is not the same person like before. Have Hashem attach himself to you before and after, you're a different human being. You're a different dimension of person. You know what it means to be connected directly to Hashem? You're a different dimension of person. Well, the Nevi'ah, Baal, the false prophets, they also had things. They started to adulate and convulsed and they fell dead, and they weren't alive. It appeared as if they were not alive, and then they wake up and they give their prophecy. But those are all the kochas hatumah. Those are the nether forces. There's many things that mimic that, and that the Ramchal speaks at length that unless you're mentored by a Navi, by a real Navi, Rambam cites they're called B'nei HaNaviim, unless you're mentored by a real mentor who's a Navi, you never know, these nether forces come to people. And you may believe it's the real thing, but it's not the real thing. And these nether forces can actually destroy a person's life. And they inform him about certain things. And he becomes privy of certain things. And the person thinks it's prophecy. So unless you have the real Navi instructing you exactly and mentoring every step of the way what is and what's not, you could actually fall victim to this. That's what the Ramchal writes.
So like Abraham, how would he know?
Who?
Like Abraham, especially with their kid, how would he know?
Don't know. Well, you see later, it says by the Akkad, if you read through the Medrash, right, the son came and spoke to him as his father, or this and that, do it, don't do it. He was trying to confuse him over there. And maybe it wasn't Nevuah, maybe it was something else over here.
No, so that these, all the prophets that we have, the years that came, so it must have been at nighttime and private.
No, it could even be during, Navi's and prophesies anytime during the day. Bilam was only at night. A Jewish prophet is even during daytime.
What I'm saying is it never happened in a public setting, like where the Navi had this episode where this...
Don't know. Probably not. Because it wouldn't really be respectful for anybody to see it. It's like somebody seeing have an epileptic fit. Looks like an epileptic fit. Yeah. But could be the Navi had it in the presence of his Talmidim.
It would be much more than obvious.
No, but I'm saying could be in the presence of his students who he was mentoring. Could be he did have it. Could be he did. I mean, not public in terms of outsiders. That Friday is Ruach Chodesh. Nevuah stopped after the Churban Abayis. That was the end. Chag is Char Malachi with the end of the prophet. No. Novi is not permitted to introduce anything. No, he reveals. No, he can't introduce a new halacha. He's a false prophet. He introduces anything new. They were prophets. They were prophets. Shlomo Melech was a prophet, but yet Mishlei is not prophecy. It's Ruach HaKodesh. Okay. Yeah, it's truth. It's absolute truth. But Hashem didn't communicate the concepts to him, meaning as nevuah, as a prophecy. The word is not inspiration. A lot of people have inspiration. They have perspiration, inspiration. Not enough. It's not spiritual. It's not spiritual inspiration either. Look, you have spiritual inspiration when you come here. That's why you're not here all week, because only one day a week you have spiritual inspiration. I mean, he's in the sleep state. Okay, Rabbi, today's your day.
Maybe
The Torah ones that the only Novi who
Moshe.
during the day.
No. Wake state. All Jewish prophets day and night. Bilam was at night because Hashem was a disgrace. The man was a lowlife. Bilam.
maybe I was thinking, could it be the reason that Abraham brought a mistake in this case is because the level of crafts was moving. Like when Yaakov met Yosef, he said Shema, and any other crafts, because it was so important that if he's going to have a child, he's going to inherit his whatnot. Like here, it's appropriate to show Hashem that he lawful Hashem, that it takes over everything else in his life. Meaning with Lech, why should he build this big thing?
If it's a different level. I'd just like to do the next pasuk because there's an important Ramban here. Vayatik misham horoch. He uprooted himself from there to go to the mountain. Mikedel Beisel, from the east Beisel v'yetolo. He pitched his tent. Beisel miyom I mikedem. Beisel's to the west. I is to the east. V'yivin shabizbech l'Hashem. V'yikro b'shem Hashem. He built the mizbech to Hashem, and he called out to Hashem. So the Ramban cites the Targum Onkelos. Targum says Vitzali b'shmod Hashem. He prayed. Tzali is Tzelusa, is praying. The Ramban cites the Onkelos, and he says Hanochon. He says his understanding is she'akorei b'kol godlu shem v'mizbech shem Hashem modioso v'lekusel v'nod was outreach. V'yikro b'shem Hashem means outreach. He called name of Hashem to espouse Hashem's presence. Ki biur. Where is it? Kibur Kazdem hoyim lamdom v'lo ovul lishmoa. In Ukazdim, he tried to teach them, and they rejected him. They weren't willing to listen. V'atok shebo be'eretz Yisrael ba'oretz zo shehuftach ba v'avorchem v'vorchecho v'yolomud l'lamed l'farsim elokus. V'chein omer HaKoseh b'Yitzchok kasher holach el nachal grov huftach al tiro ki itcho nochi shabon mizbeach. Also he built him v'yikro b'shem Hashem kibo b'mokom chodosh asher lo shomu eshimo. When he went to that location, people weren't aware of Hashem's presence. V'lo roas kvodo, they never saw his glory. V'higit kvodo b'goyim ahem, and he made known God's glory among those nations. So v'yikro b'shem Hashem means informing people, outreach, because those people they weren't aware. V'lo nemer b'Yaakov Cain. Why don't we find v'yikro b'shem Hashem by Yaakov? This famous Rameh Simcha on this, right? V'yikro b'shem Hashem by Avram by Yitzchok. Lo nemar b'Yaakov came the sheholid bonim rabim kulam of the Hashem, because he had a family. They were all of the Hashem. Voislo kilo gedola nikras adas Yisrael. V'nisparse emuno behem. They were he didn't have to go announce it and disseminate it. They themselves, their representation, that generated an awareness to the surrounding nations that they represent that. V'noda l'cholom, and it became known. V'gam ki mimei avosiv nispars b'chol eretz Kanon. V'chein omer b'reishis rabba b'lami sheikri b'shmo shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu v'kol bria. That's in regard, not, he made known, he called the name of Hashem in the Befri Kol Bria, that every person spoke about God. It's interesting. You know, today, there's no, because of communication, there's no part of the world that is not aware that there's Jewish people. Everybody's aware there's Jewish people. And we represent whatever we represent. Right? No, even the Arab, Yimach Shmum, we're monotheistic. We're not infidels the way the Christians are infidels or the way the pagans are infidels. Right? We're not. So it's known. So, and the whole world knows this. But I remember many years ago, there were locations in the world, they never heard of Jews. They never heard of Jews. They never knew Jews even existed. Out in Africa, wherever they were, these, you know, they were talking about their uncivilized cannibals, what they heard of Jews. They never ate that cuisine, right? They only ate the, whatever it is. They only like dark meat, not white meat, whatever it is, right? They weren't aware of it. When they met us, they hated us, okay? Famous story with the Chavetz Chaim. Unfortunately, David's not here yet, even though he's a minute late. Okay, that the Ponovitch Rav, you know, before he went to, he was the Rav in Ponovitch, and he was always a phenomenal fundraiser. He had a charisma. He was a phenomenal speaker, and he went to South Africa in the 20s, early 20s, to raise money. South Africa was all Litvish Jews, Lithuanian Jews. And the Lithuanian Jews, they have a certain affinity to their own kind, and they're very wealthy. Jews in South Africa were very wealthy. And he went to raise money there, raised a phenomenal amount of money. And he had relationships that later, after Europe was destroyed, he was able to build Ponovitch because of that original trip that he had made to, he went to Johannesburg and Durban and to Cape Town. He went to all these, and that's when Jews were very wealthy. So when he came back, he and Rabbi Chanan Wasserman were the closest to the Chavetz Chaim. See, so the Chavetz Chaim asks him, he says, "What did you see?" He says, "Did you see blacks? You know, Europe, you didn't see black people in Europe, right?" The Mechaber says, "You see a black man, you're supposed to say a bracha, Mishana Brios, right? You see a kushi. I mean, it's a aloch in Shulchan Aruch, it's a Gemara in brachas. You know, he said, "Do you see the black people? You know, the natives, yeah." And he says, "What did you see anything special about them?" He says, "What first? The climate." He says, then he says, you know, he says, if a black man doesn't have what to drink, his brother offers him water to drink. That's what the Ponovitch Rav said to the Chavetz Chaim. So Chavetz Chaim says, if that's the case, there's something special with them. They have the midas hachesed, that they have compassion for one another. That if one of them is lacking, the other one feels his need, and he provides what he wants. It's just about offering some water for him to drink, to quench his thirst. That was the story with the Chavetz Chaim and the Ponovitch Rav, what he reported back from South Africa. He didn't ask him how much money he raised. You know, how was the accommodation at the hotel, you know. To be continued.